A single candlestick can appear deceptively simple, but it represents the entire story of a market's battle during that period. To uncover the truth behind its movement, zoom into a lower time frame. There, the story unfolds, revealing the internal swings, false breakouts, and constant struggle between buyers and sellers that the larger candle conceals. All of this is hidden within a single candle on a higher time frame. Every time you look at the chart, you are not just seeing price, you are seeing a cycle. And if you learn to recognize this cycle, you will be able to predict where the market will move next. Sounds interesting? Then, let's break down how it works. This powerful trading tool will help you trade alongside institutional money, not against it. We'll break down this theory step by step, with examples, so you can fully master this model. As always, I appreciate your support, so if you are new here, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Before diving into practical applications, we'll begin with the theory behind Candle Range Theory. Let's explore the psychology at its core. So, what exactly is a candle range theory? The idea is simple. Every candle on the chart represents a range. In other words, a candle on a higher time frame is simply a price movement range that can be examined in greater detail on a lower time frame. There are no exceptions. Every candle, whether it's a monthly or a 1-minute candle, has its own range. Similarly, every candle has its higher time frames and its lower time frames. This concept can be compared to the structure of the universe. Just as every galaxy consists of star systems, which in turn are made up of planets and particles, every candle on the chart contains an entire world of smaller price movements. Ranges can be broken, tested, or turned into liquidity traps. All of this is reflected in candlestick patterns. Every candle has its high and low. If we drop to a lower time frame, you will see how this range forms between the candle's highest and lowest points. The market constantly goes through three main phases: accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. This is an endless cycle, like the market's pulse. First, big players accumulate their positions, then manipulate price by taking out liquidity, and finally, distribute price across the market before a new cycle begins. It's kind of similar to Wyckoff method. This pattern is known as power of three, representing an integral part of market dynamics. These three phases can be clearly traced in trading sessions. The Asian session often accumulates price. London frequently sees manipulation through sweeping Asian ranges, while New York then distributes the price. The key idea remains that each candle's range tells a story of these market phases playing out across different time frames, with institutional players driving the action through accumulation, manipulation, and distribution cycles that repeat endlessly in the markets. However, there can be other variations of intraday price distribution. For instance, if the Asian session showed not accumulation in a range but rather impulsive movement, then don't expect manipulation during the European session. In this case, London will likely accumulate price while New York will manipulate it. Everything depends on what happened during the Asian session, so pay close attention to its behavior. The best time frames for identifying these phases are 5 or 15 minutes. Let's see how to apply CRT in practice. In a bullish scenario, CRT often forms as a sequence of 3 candles on a higher time frame. We have already established that the time frame itself doesn't matter here, though I personally recommend 1 hour or 4 hours. The first candle establishes the range with its high and low. The second candle sweeps liquidity by testing this range's extremes, and the third candle breaks the structure of this range. There are nuances here. This pattern isn't always limited to 3 candles. Sometimes the process may take more candles, but the principle remains the same. For example, in this scenario, you can observe the formation of several candles before the range of the initial candle gets broken. These internal candles are called inside bars and serve as additional liquidity. The same approach applies to bearish markets. Here are several similar examples. Without exception, CRT works identically across all time frames. Now, to solidify this theory, let's examine several CRT patterns that commonly appear in markets. One of the most reliable patterns is the complete cycle: accumulation, manipulation, and distribution across 3 candles. For instance, When we spot liquidity below a bullish candle, price will typically rise first, then manipulate by sweeping liquidity, before finally distributing downward towards sell-side liquidity zones. In another example, we see a large candle, accumulation, followed by a false breakout, manipulation, and then multiple candles forming before full price distribution occurs. CRT is essentially a mechanical method for simplifying your trading by providing clear steps for entering trades. When applying these rules in practice, it's crucial to consider time frames. For example, if you spot a CRT pattern on the monthly chart, you should use the daily time frame for your entry. For daily charts, switch to the hourly time frame, while for the 4-hour chart, the 15-minute time frame works best for entries. More importantly, you need to look for CRT patterns around key levels, rather than in random areas on the chart. The timing of CRT formations also plays a critical role. Make sure you identify these patterns during significant market hours, when institutional activity is highest. This approach ensures you're trading in alignment with the broader market structure, rather than chasing isolated price movements. By combining CRT with key levels and proper timing, you significantly increase the probability of successful trades while maintaining clear risk parameters. The method works because it reflects how institutional traders actually operate in the markets. These specific time intervals in the Forex market correspond to 1 a.m., 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. on New York time. Now that we've covered the theory, let's move to real market examples, and I will show you how this works in practice. Let's analyze how this information applies to the S&P 500 index. Here, you can clearly see the formation of a large, strong candle. What's important is that this candle closes within a significant key level. This could be any support or resistance level, or even an order block. The crucial factor is that it must be a strong resistance zone. Therefore, within this area, we can now look for potential short entry points. To do this, we first need to mark out the entry ranges of this zone. The boundaries of this candle's range become our operational framework. The high represents the level where buyers were rejected, while the low shows where sellers took control. When price retests this zone, we'll be watching for specific candlestick patterns and liquidity sweeps that confirm the validity of our CRT setup. We mark the maximum and mark the minimum of this range. This is our CRT, consolidation range trading, within which we must find a false breakout and then trade for the removal of the opposite side's liquidity. Now, as soon as the price is closed, we can move to a lower time frame to look for an entry point to sell within this candle. We drop down to a 5-minute chart, and here we should see roughly the following: a false breakout and a move in the opposite direction. Only in this case can we trade this formation, no other way. We see the false breakout, and now we can proceed to search for an entry point. For this, we need to see a structure break, a correction into the order block, and only then can we open sell entries. The price makes another false spike, and only after that does it break the structure in the opposite direction. Now, if the price gives us a correction, we can open sell trades with targets at the boundary of the previous range. We can open a trade in several ways. For example, it could be at 50% of this order block. It could be the optimal trade entry, zone based on Fibonacci, or it could be the high of this candle itself. Personally, I most prefer opening trades from the optimal trade entry zone, the golden ratio. So in this case, that's what we'll do. Our stop loss is placed above the highest high, and our take profit can target the low of this range being broken. Now, let's see how this limit order plays out. The trade executed with a risk-reward ratio of 1:6. Next, let's analyze another example with Bitcoin. We also have a large, strong candle. We mark its range, meaning its high and low. The price is currently within a strong order block, so from here, we can look for an entry point to buy. After this candle closes, we can move to a lower time frame to search for entry points. To do this, we need to drop down to 5-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame and wait for a false spike of this level. As we can observe, the level was initially spiked, but multiple candles formed here. If we switch back to the 1-hour time frame, we'll see two inside bars acting as additional liquidity. Next, all we need to do is find an entry point and trade in the opposite direction, toward the upper boundary of the range. We have a structure break with a single candle in the opposite direction, along with a clear breakout of the last candle, which now acts as a breaker. We can open a trade right now, with a market order, and target the upper boundary. This is the first entry point. Our stop loss is placed in a safe zone beyond the false breakout, while the take profit can be held until the upper boundary of the range. The risk-reward ratio in this trade was 1 to 2. Let's look at one final Bitcoin example. We see a strong impulse candle forming during the Asian session opening. The price takes out New York liquidity, while sitting in a key zone where we can look for buy trades. We mark this candle slow and high. After the candle closes, we move down to 5-minute time frame. To enter trades here, we need to see a false breakout and price moving back toward the opposite range boundary. We observe a false spike, with price returning below the level, but there is no structural break yet. This makes entering trades here too dangerous, so we wait for a more reliable setup. We see a full structural break. Now we can open entry positions on the pullback. I prefer entering trades at the golden ratio level, which is exactly what I will do in this case. Our stop loss is placed either beyond the last swing or the origin point of this move, in the safe zone. Take profit targets the upper boundary of this range, and we can see how price reacted precisely as expected. These techniques truly work in the market. If this video was helpful, be sure to show your appreciation with like and subscribe to this channel. I wish you good luck on your journey, and see you at the top.